With us now from Washington, former director of the CIA and NSA, now principal of the Chertoff Group, retired General Michael Hayden. General, thank you for being with us. You say yesterday's attacks in Paris, it is a new flavor of Islamic terrorism. Tell us about that.
Sure, Joe. We've seen this coming for a long time. I mean, this has been predictable, that these relatively low-level attacks, not the mass casualty attacks against iconic targets, would be the way that al-Qaeda and affiliates would be coming after us in the future. This is probably near the high end of the genre, more like, say, the attacks in Mumbai or the attacks in the shopping mall in Kenya. But in those cases, the attacks were random and suicidal. This was well-planned and well-targeted. That makes it particularly frightening. And
what you say you fear is possible drive-by shootings in Little Rock or an SUV in Times Square.
Right. Right, and those were lower end, not very competent, self-radicalized, inspired, not overly trained. These guys looked pretty competent. They were very comfortable with their weapons, weren't they? And very comfortable in their own skins as they carried out this atrocity.
And that's what the Wall Street Journal talked about. Signs of planning an assault raise fears. You look at the video, certainly outside, and then you saw they didn't run like maniacs toward the car. They were cold, calculated, ruthless, and certainly that does raise the specter of a different type of terrorist, doesn't it?
It does. These guys were veterans. It appears to me, based on the video, that they've killed before, so they probably had combat experience. Yemen, Iraq, Syria, somewhere recently.
What can we make from the weapons that they were using?
Generally available, the weapons of choice of jihadists, the AK-47, pretty easy to use, pretty easy to maintain, certainly effective.
And how easy is it to get in Paris?
The French are tough, Joe. DGSE, DST are very good security organizations. They have a lot more freedom under French law than we do under American law. All that said, the amount of traffic between North Africa and metropolitan France, I don't think that would have been particularly difficult to do. And after all, after the fall of Gaddafi, Libya has become the arms depot of jihadism globally.
Yeah, David Ignatius is with us in Washington and has a question for you, General David.
General Hayden, I wanted to ask you whether you think the effect of these attacks and the French reaction will be to sicken other French Muslims who regard this as outrageous or radicalize them further. Which way do you think that'll go?
David, frankly, I think it'll break both ways, but your comments earlier were spot on, I think. If the French government handles this well, if the French government goes into those Arab quarters and talks to Islamic leaders about protecting their youth, that their youth are the targets of these radical organizations, if they go in with that kind of an attitude, this could break in a more positive direction, because an awful lot of French Islamics are really outraged at what happened here.
Eamon Molding's here and it's got a question for you.
General Hayden, I wanted to get a sense about going forward. What is the solution to this problem now that we're seeing this explosion of attacks, whether they be lone wolves in Sydney or random acts here or there? But there seems to be this now growing trend. What is the systematic approach to doing the right thing here in trying to end this for once and for all?
Yeah, let me be a little dark here. There really are no solutions. This is a condition. Now, we can manage the condition better. We can make these attacks somewhat less likely, somewhat less lethal, but without changing the characters of our societies, we can't make them go away altogether. Let me add another thought here, too. You know, I was talking to you guys about 12 months ago about these massive amounts of metadata that NSA held in storage. That metadata doesn't look all that scary this morning, and I wouldn't be surprised if the French services pick up cell phones associated with the attack and ask the Americans, where have you seen these phones active globally? And so we're going to have to continue to struggle with that balance between keeping ourselves safe and keeping our privacy protected.
Thomas.
General, based off of Eamon's question, with the Sydney siege and the operational structure, the big difference of what we've seen happening in Paris, what does that say to you about what can be forecast internationally and what an international coalition of people that is working together to exchange crucial information should be looking for?
In terms of fighting from our side and how to deal with it, yeah. Actually, information exchange is very, very important. And again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but you know that suffered in the past 6, 12, and 18 months because of the Snowden revelations. One hopes that meaningful intelligence cooperation between like-minded democracies gets a boost from yesterday's dangers, and we go forward in a more cooperative fashion.
All right, General Michael Hayden, thank you very much. Always great to have you on the show. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you, General.
Up next, the foreign editor for the Daily Beast, Christopher Dickey, joins us live from Paris. Stay with us.